You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. In order to work at solving these things called problems in your life, you have to change your mind. It is your mind where they live. It is your mind that created them. There is where you experience them. They're all illusions. You must change your mind. Literally rewrite your agreement with reality. One of the things I had said earlier is that one of the most difficult things to do in the world is to admit that you were wrong. Admitting that you were wrong is nothing more than saying, I have been making choices with my mind that have created things in my life that are not working. And I no longer intend to continue making those choices. I was wrong. You don't have to make a declaration of it. You don't have to go out and feel guilty about it. You just simply say, it didn't work. The relationship that I was in before, I behaved in these ways. I didn't realize that it wasn't working for me. Now I do, and this is where I choose to be now.
Old ways won't open new doors. How do you think you can change by doing the same thing, continuing on the same path, taking no risks, no twists, no turns? Nothing's going to change if you're not willing to change. Stop being lazy. Get up and become something more than the familiar route you've been walking for years. Close your eyes and take the risk. Step off the path and walk into the jungle. That's where success roams, waiting to be grasped. The potential sitting, dying to be used. This is where you are willing to move away from convention, where you can write your own rules. Take a deep breath. Hold out your hand. Look at it. Hold it out and turn the handle. Open the door, a new door, a door you've never seen before. So what are you going to do? How are you going to change? Who has the power? You have the potential to become someone worth living for, someone better than success. Satisfaction that you tried, that you put in the time, put in the work, and make it. Make the decision now. Become your decision. Rise above the fears. Take the risk.
Many people have had difficult experiences growing up. They have fallen onto hard times and become associated with the wrong people. They have behaved in ways that were illegal or socially unacceptable. Sometimes they have even been convicted and sent to prison for their crimes. But at a certain point in life, they decided to change. They thought seriously about the kind of person that they wanted to be known as and thought of in the future. They decided to change their lives by changing the values that they lived by. By making these decisions and sticking to them, they changed their lives. And what others have done, you can do as well. Remember, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that really matters is where you're going. If you were an outstanding person in every respect, how would you behave toward others? What sort of impression would you leave on others after you had met them and spoken with them? Imagine you could be a completely excellent person. How would you be different from today? In psychology, your level of self-esteem determines your level of happiness. Self-esteem is defined as how much you like yourself. Your self-esteem, in turn, is determined by your self-image. This is the way you see yourself and think about yourself in your day. Interactions with others. Your self-image is shaped by your self-ideal. Your self-ideal is made up of the virtues, values, goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations that you have for yourself sometime in the future. Here is what psychologists have discovered. The more your behavior in the moment is consistent with what you feel your ideal behavior should be, the more you like and respect yourself, and the happier you are. On the other hand, whenever you behave in a way that is inconsistent with your ideal of your very best behavior, you experience a negative self-image. You feel yourself to be performing below your best. below what you truly aspire to. As a result, your self-esteem and your level of happiness decrease. The moment that you begin walking, talking, and behaving in ways that are consistent with your highest ideals, your self-image improves, your self-esteem increases, and you feel happier about yourself and your world. For example, whenever you are complimented or praised by another person, or given a prize or an award for accomplishment, your self-esteem goes up, sometimes dramatically. You feel happy about yourself. You feel that your whole life is in harmony and that you are living congruent with your highest ideals. You feel successful and valuable. Your aim should be to deliberately and systematically create the circumstances that raise your circumstances, that raise yourself. Esteem in everything you do. You should live your life as if you were already the outstanding person that you intend to be sometime in the future. Remember, you become what you think about, most of the time. Successful, happy people think about their values and how they can live and practice those values in every part of their lives, every single day. The big payoff is that the more you live your life consistent with your values, the happier, healthier, more positive, and energetic you will be.
Let me ask you a rather personal question. What do you believe in? Now, it sometimes seems that there's so much doubt, fear, and cynicism, so much tongue-in-cheek and wise guy elbow rib poking that we've come to the place where people don't believe in anything anymore. People doubt their own capacity for judgment, for knowing what's right or wrong. They wait to see what others do or say before they'll express an opinion of their own. So, what do you believe in? Now, this is not an unimportant question. It's as vital that each of us decides exactly what he does believe in as anything else, and I'll tell you why. It is what you believe in that will determine the course of your life, what happens to you, and your ultimate destiny. The great truth, as you believe, so shall it be done unto you, seems to go almost unnoticed today. But that's the way it works. What you believe in is what will happen to you. For belief is faith, and faith is still the greatest power on earth. A young medical student was being examined by a board of distinguished doctors to determine whether or not he would receive his license to practice. They asked him, "Why do you want to be a physician?" And he replied, "I've known I was going to be a doctor for as long as I can remember. There's simply no question about it. I'm going to be a practicing physician and a good one." He didn't beg the question. He told them he was going to be a doctor. They had no choice in the matter. The difference between faith and wanting or wishing is that with faith we know what's going to be. With the others, we're only hoping. It's what we believe that makes us the kind of people we are. The greater our faith, the greater we become. People who let others do their thinking for them, who will not venture forth an opinion on any subject until they're sure that what they say will be met with approval and acceptance, do not believe. They conform to a picture of what they think others want them to be like. They are chameleons, ready to take on any hue their surroundings demand. They have no deep anchors of belief, and so drift aimlessly on the surface of life. So when I ask you, what do you believe in, I meant, what do you have faith in? What would you be willing to risk everything you have on because of the certainty of your belief? If a person believes he's not much of a person, that's what he is. If he believes that he has value, that there's no other person on earth exactly like him, and that he has an important contribution to make, and that he can reach the goals he sets for himself, these things are then true and will come to pass. People remain where they are because they believe that's where they ought to be, and they rise to new heights of achievement and ability because they believe they will. The greatest teachers who ever lived, men whose minds soared far above those of their times and whom we still read and believe, said that according to our faith will it be done unto us. And that, my friend, is the way it works. There are no arguments, no exceptions, no hair-splitting. What do you believe? Then that's what you are. The worst thing that can happen to a person is to lose his belief in something great and important to him. For with belief gone, faith is gone. And when that's gone, there isn't anything left.
There's a process which has made more people rich than any other single process of goal achieving. And it's to take your major goal and structure it as a question. If your goal is to earn $100,000 a year, then you write, how can I earn $100,000 in the next 12 months? Now, that's an open-ended question, not how can I earn it at my job or doing a specific thing, just an open-ended question, how can I earn the amount of money? And then you discipline yourself to write 20 answers to the question. And the 20 answers are all the different things that you could think of to earn $100,000. Work longer, work harder, upgrade my skills, get a new job, take a part-time opportunity. Whatever it happens to be, write down everything you could think of, but force yourself to write at least 20 questions or 20 answers to the question. The 20 question method, called mindstorming, forces you to dig deep, deep into your mind where you will find all your answers. And it may be call a person, or read a book. Let me give you an example. We had a young fellow, entrepreneur, he got 35 years old. He'd built a successful business. He'd worked about 10 years to do it. And he, for 2 years, wanted to sell his business so he could take a year off and travel, enjoy his money. And so for 2 years, he just sort of floundered around like a fish on the dock, wanting to sell his business. Nobody offered to buy it. He suggested it to people. People were not interested, and so on. And in this exercise that they put him through, his 20th answer, and often it's the 20th answer that is the breakthrough, was buy a book on how to sell your own business. And it just went off like a flashbulb in his mind. At the break, he got up. It was a downtown hotel. Got up, went down to the street to a major bookstore, went and found he was amazed at the number of books that had been written on how to buy and sell a business. So he bought 2 or 3 books. 2 months later, he had restructured, packaged his business, sold it completely, satisfactorily, and took a year off. He said, but it was just a single idea. It was a breakthrough idea. But it was so simple. Just get a book on the subject. And you think, boy, that's pretty obvious, yes? But it's the most obvious answers that we overlook.